Yo, what is good, YouTube? It is your boy Swiftly, back with another Xdefiant video, and as you can see on your screen, today's episode, we are going to be ranking all of the multiplayer maps in Xdefiant preseason. So keep in mind, this is a preseason. You know, they are going to be adding new maps in Season 1 or whatever, but I believe 3 new maps. But right now, these are the maps that we're working with, and these are the maps that we are going to be ranking, today. We have Arena, we have Attica Heights, we have Dumbo, we have Echelon Headquarters, we have Emporium, we have Liberty, Mayday, Meltdown, Midway, Noodleplex, Pueblito, Showtime, Times Square, and Zoo. Now, the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of move these maps over here, which these 4 maps over here at the end are the maps that you can only get when playing the quote-unquote big game modes. That's what I call them. Escort, and I believe is Control or something Control, Zone Control or something like that. But it's basically just Control from, you know, the Call of Duty series, except there's more than just 2 control points. There's like 5 control points that you have to capture. And, you know, for those specific game modes, you can only play these 4 maps for those game modes, which is Meltdown, Times Square, Midway, and Zoo. And then for the rest of the game modes, Domination, Occupy, and Hotshot, you have these other, I think it's like, what, 6 maps or 8 maps or something like that. But we have Arena, Attica Heights, Dumbo, these maps right here, okay? That's not these 4 over here, okay? Like, let's just leave it at that. So, again, these are the maps that we are going to be ranking. I said, again, like that, I'm going to start with these maps. So, I'm going to start with Times Square, and I'm going to put Times Square and just C. Decent. Now, the reason why I'm putting Times Square in decent, because it's like, it's not super bad, but in my opinion, it's kind of dark. It has its bright spots, like when you get into the train station area of this map or whatever. It has its bright spots and moments and whatnot, but for majority of the map, when you're first playing Escort or Zone Control or whatever, those first areas of the map are pretty dark. It's hard to see people. You know, it's very easy. There's a lot of places for people to like camp and, you know, head glitch and just sit in the back of their spawns with like snipers and stuff like that. So for me, I'm just not really a fan of Times Square. I mean, it might just be because, you know, the mode. You know, I think Times Square, what they should have done was they should have made these modes specifically for those modes, but then they also should have had like a, you know, zoned off smaller version of these maps, like kind of like how Call of Duty did with Cold War, where they had certain maps, but then they zoned it down and made it smaller and used that small section for 2v2 or gunfight or 3v3, whatever it was called, one-on-one gunfight or whatever. Like, I think that's what they should have did here in Xdefiant, where they could have took parts of Midway, they could have took parts of Zoo, like that Zoo area, the initial Zoo area before you get inside like the aquarium or whatever. They could have took that initial Zoo area and used that as a map for Domination, you know, Hotshot, and all of those things. I think all of these maps have sections on them that could have been broken down and used in the other modes, but that's just me, man. That's just my opinion. It's whatever. Moving on, we have Meltdown, which is another one of those maps that I really don't look forward to playing. I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys. This map, it's very easy to get spawn trapped on this map. Now, if you know you play in a party, then obviously that's not much of an issue. But if you're a solo player like me that primarily plays solo, and you're at the mercy of, you know, however good or bad your teammates are, then you totally understand where I'm coming from when I say Meltdown is just kind of like a 50-50. I'll play it, but I will never vote for this map. So, you know, I would put this in decent as well too. We'll be cool and put this in decent. I like it because it does give me a chance to use like guns like the MK20 and the M16 on these bigger maps. So I do like these bigger maps just for that reason alone. But Again, like I said, I'm not a fan of Meltdown just because it's just a very campy map. It's a very like head glitchy, sit in the back with the sniper, like just very just annoying map to kind of play. You know, if you got the right people playing and everybody's rushing and pushing the objective and stuff like that, it's not as bad. But just the layout of it, it's very just campy, bunch up, head glitch. Like you get inside that second zone of the map and then everybody's in that top office either sniping or just head glitching. It's just really just you know what I'm saying. Now we're moving on to Midway. Now Midway, I have nothing but good things to say about Midway. Midway is actually a very good map and I enjoy playing this map. In fact, I would also throw Zoo in as A+2. I like both of these maps. If I have the option of Midway versus either of these maps, I always vote Midway. And if I have an option of Zoo versus any of these maps, I always vote Zoo. And if Midway and Zoo pop up, well, then I'll drop a vote on either or, as long as nobody votes random. If somebody votes random, then I'll drop a vote on one of these two maps. But if nobody's voting random, then I'll just leave it up to whatever. You know, it doesn't matter. But both of these maps are extremely good. They're well lit. You know, they're balanced. There isn't really too many like really strong power points on this map. Like maybe the aquarium area on defense, on Zoo, on Escort can be a little but outside of that, Midway and Zoo to me is just a very like fair, balanced map. It's well lit. It isn't dark. There isn't too many campy spots for people to camp up. It's like these two maps are like just the complete polar opposite of these two maps. You know what I'm saying? Everything that's wrong with these two maps that I'm not a fan of, Midway and Zoo gets right across the boards. You know what I mean? Now we're moving into the other maps. Now I'm off rip. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna go with my favorite map in the game. Like I don't care what anybody say. Yeah, you can hate it, you can love it, but this map to me is hands down the best map in the game. If I was to compare this map, if I was to give this map a Call of Duty comparison, this map would be Raid from BO2. I mean, they brought it back for BO3 as well too. This map would be Raid. This map would be Summit from BO1. From BO3, this map would be, I don't even know what map I would call this in BO3. For BO4, this map would be BO3, this map would be like Combine. I would say Combine. For BO4, this map would be like maybe Contraband. I want to say like Noodleplex. This map is S tier. This is the best map in the game, hands down, bar none, in my opinion. Now there are other S tier maps in this game, and we will get to those maps. But to me, this is hands down just the most well balanced map in the game. There is no super OP ridiculous PowerPoint on this map. You know what I'm saying? There is none of that. There is no, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Like no super crazy like cutoff or choke points that's like it's hard to get people out of. There's like one or two head glitches that are deadly as fuck. Like one near that B flag dom, where you can head glitch crazy and it's hard to get people off of. But that's what nades are for, you know what I'm saying? So outside of that, there really is no crazy spots on Noodleplex. You have your long distance fights. You have your mid-range fights. Most of the fights are mid-range to close range. You can use a wide variety of weapons, shotguns, ARs, SMGs, snipers, whatever you want, pistols, like anything you want, LMGs you can use on this map. It's well balanced, domination, hot shot, occupy, just everything about this map is just fun. It's bright, it's well lit. It kind of reminds me also of, you know, it has that vibe of like that water park map. I can't remember the name from BO3. I want to say it's called Splash, but it has that feeling of like Splash. It has that feeling of like OG Modern Warfare 2 Carnival, if you guys remember that Carnival DLC map. Like it just has like just that fun design and color. It's bright. There's no like little dark spots. There's no like super crazy PowerPoints that you can't get people off or out of. It's just a well balanced map, and it's just hands down my favorite map. Anytime this map pops up, I always vote. Usually I'm looking at my phone or something in between matches, but when I see Noodleplex, I always vote Noodleplex. If I'm playing with friends, I tell them vote Noodleplex. We always vote Noodleplex. As the memes say, all my homies love Noodleplex, or all my homies hate Noodleplex, but the opposite of that. All my homies love Noodleplex, bro. Noodleplex is the GOAT map in this game. I love it. We're going to follow that up with another really good, dope-ass map that I think is probably the second best map in the game. Okay, and to me, that's going to have to be Liberty, man. Liberty is, again, another S-tier map, another well-balanced map. And I think that's the most important thing when it comes to my rankings for these, is just how balanced these maps are. Liberty, again, you have like that little top area overlooking B flag on domination that a lot of people like to go. But again, there's like 3 different ways that you can attack that. There's the ramp, then there's the little ledge that you can jump up, and then there's a second ramp around the other way. So there's like 3 different areas you can attack from. When it comes to B flag, there's like 4 or 5 different ways that you can attack the B flag on there. There's, you know, that left lane and then the right lane with that little restaurant or whatever that is on the right side, and then the left lane, the little trench dugout area. You know, it's just a good, well-balanced map. You got long-range fights, you got medium to short-range fights, you can snipe, you can shotgun, you can use ARs, SMGs, whatever you like. It's just a very well-balanced map, and that's all we want. You know, I really wish MW2 and Cold War and Vanguard had maps like these that are just, you know, just fun to play, you know, and just not a drag. It's not just, oh man, it's Liberty again. Oh man, it's Noodleplex. Oh man, it's Zoo. It's like when these maps come up, I don't mind playing them. When I see these maps, I'm like, oh, I want to play Liberty. Oh, I want to play Noodleplex. You know what I mean? Like I haven't had that feeling in Call of Duty since like Black Ops 3 or Black Ops 4. That was like the last time. Maybe Modern Warfare 3 with the OG Modern Warfare 2 maps. I'm like, oh yeah, let's play Sub Base, or, you know, oh yeah, man, let's play Terminal. Like, you know, in those instances, yes, but we're talking about maps from like almost 10 years ago, OG Modern Warfare 2 maps. Of course we love those maps. Current modern era Call of Duty maps are just, they just don't have that feeling to them anymore, you know? And that's one of the most refreshing things about Xdefiant, is that you actually want to play on these maps. You know, even some of the shitty ones, you know. I'll take Times Square and Meltdown any day over fucking Piccadilly, you know, or whatever that border crossing map was with all the cars where people just spamming nades and shit, bro. Like, any day over those maps. I'll play this 100 times in a row versus playing Piccadilly once, bro. Like, real talk. Like, if we're being honest. Moving on to our next map, I'm gonna actually throw a wrench in this, and I'm gonna pick a map that I'm just not a fan of, man. And that's going to be Echelon Headquarters. I just genuinely hate this map. This map is just bad. It's just so many. To sum this map up, I think the reason why I hated it is because it reminds me so much of Modern Warfare 19. Okay, there's 9,000 doors, there's like 8,000 different windows and offices and corners and areas that people can come from and swarm and flank and shit, and there's always 2 or 3. The map is so small, there's always 2 or 3 people running together. You run into a gunfight, you kill one person, you try to run around the corner to heal, 2 more dudes are popping up like the goddamn Power Rangers, man. Like, it's just insane, bro. It's just complete chaos. The map is great for XP, you know, double XP come, or you pop your coins and, you know, you got quadruple XP and stuff. It's really great for leveling up your weapons and stuff. But as far as like wins and KD and just overall mental health of just not fucking dying a bunch of times, bro, like, it's just annoying as hell. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, it is annoying as shit to play, man. Like, seriously, annoying as fuck. I hate this map. I avoid this map. This is one of 2 maps that I actually back out of. If it's Echelon Headquarters, I back out. If I'm host, if I'm playing with friends and I'm not host, I always tell them, yo, man, vote for something else. Please vote for something else. But if I'm host, I'm just backing out of the lobby because I know people tend to vote for this map a lot. Now, moving on, we're going to another map that's kind of similar to Echelon Headquarters, and in the sense that it's one of the smallest maps in the game, and that's going to be Arena. And I'm actually going to put Arena in the A category. Now, I know Arena is very, split down the middle when it comes to the Xdefiant community. You have that 50% that love it. It's this game's version of Rust or Shipment or Shoot House or whatever, if you will. So many people love it. Small map, easy kills, high kill games. Everybody's getting kills. Everybody's dying. It's a fair small map or whatever. Shit spawns just like Shipment, just like Rust, just like Shoot House. I'm putting it in A only for the simple fact that this map is amazing for XP if you're trying to level up your guns. That's the only reason why I'm putting this in the A tier. If we're talking about just maps in general, I would probably be putting this in C tier. But because it's really good for weapon XP and I don't really mind playing it, just because I know how to play this map, I usually just stay to the outskirts, just flank everybody, just running around through the tunnels, easy kills. You rack up a minimum of like 15 kills of just killing people off of spawn if you just stay in the tunnels and just flank or just do loops around the map. That is literally how I play this map. If I'm playing solo. If I'm playing with friends, then obviously I'll push for the objective. But if I'm playing solo, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I'm not jumping on a flag to get naded 47 times. I'm literally just doing flanks and just loops around the map, killing people off of spawn. You could pick up a minimum of like 15 kills of just killing people off spawn. That's not talking about engaging with, the objective, the hard point, or domination, or whatever it is that you're playing on this map or whatever. But just flanking alone, you're able to pick up about like 10 to 15 kills on this map, easy. So for me, it's an A tier because it's really good XP. And it's not, shitty. I'll play Arena before I play Echelon Headquarters, just because it's much easier to see people. There's not 9,000 different doorways for people to come from. You kind of have a general sense of where people are going to come from based on where your team is at. So I'm going to put Arena in the A tier. Let me know down below in the comments what you guys think, Arena should be at. Where you have Arena rank, bro. Specifically Arena. And actually, let me know in the comments down below where you have an Echelon rank, because I'm curious to see what people think of Echelon in the comments, because every time I play this game, people are always voting for Echelon Headquarters, and I don't know why. This map is just terrible. But moving on, we're going to be going to another map that I'm just really not a fan of, and that is going to be Dumbo. This is another map that I, usually back out of. If I haven't played it in some time, I'll play it, but Dumbo is just another map. I'll play Dumbo before I play Echelon Headquarters, so let me move this over here like that, and I'll move Meltdown over here like that, because I kind of want it to be in order of like how much I like it versus how much I don't like it. Dumbo to me is just, again, another map that's just, it reminds me of Modern Warfare 19, man. Like, there's just 9,000 different doorways and windows and like fire escapes that you can jump off of and stuff. Like, where the hard points and the flags are at is just like 97 different ways somebody can shoot you. So it's like you're jumping on the objective point, but then you're getting naded, you're getting shot at from 7 different directions. It's just complete madness. Like the spawns are kind of just like Dumbo. I just don't feel this map, man. I don't know what else to say, bro. These 2 maps are just not it for me, man. Like, I'm just not a fan of these 2 maps. I don't know any other way to really describe it. I just not it, bro. It's just not it. Now moving on to, again, probably the last map that I can honestly say that I'm really not a fan of. The rest of these maps I have no problems with, and that's going to be Attica Heights. Now I'm going to put Attica Heights in the C tier for decent, and the reason why this is going in C tier for decent is because, usually people snipe on this map, and I like, you know, they're gonna be putting out a patch. By the time this video comes out, they will probably have already patched the snipers and put the flinch on the snipers. So by the time this video actually comes out, maybe I probably would have liked playing Attica Heights by then. But as it stands right now, of the time of me recording this video, I'm just not a fan of Attica Heights. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Like just nonstop snipers. Like I don't know, man. People just jump it, like, just I don't know, man. I just hate this map. I just hate this map, bro. I don't even know what to say, bro. I just hate this map. Like, the snipers make this map just so shitty. Like, the B flag being where it's at in domination, dudes just jumping down on you like the goddamn Power Rangers once again. Nades, firebomb, fire drone, just bullshit, man. I hate this map, man. This map just isn't. And the thing about it is, it's crazy because it has like this the you know, the typical 3-lane map that we usually like, but it's just, I think it's the verticality of it that I don't like, the up and down of it that I don't like. This game just isn't really good when it comes to verticality. Like, how fast and quick the game is, it just doesn't lend itself for like up and down. Horizontally the game is fine, but vertically the game is just like, I don't know what it is, man. Like, even the aiming just feels bad. Like, when you have to aim down, somebody's sliding at you and you have to aim down, just vertically, this game, I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm even trying to say, but I'm just too long. Don't read. Just I don't know how to shorten this, but just fuck this map. Put it that way, okay? Fuck this map. I hate Attica Heights. It's going in C tier. Better yet, bro, this shit going into D tier, bro. Even if there's no snipers playing, fuck that map. I hate it. I'm not playing it. Well, actually, no, I'm putting it in C tier because I will play it if there's no snipers on that shit. But I still not really a fan of this map. I'm gonna be honest with you. Now, moving on, these maps here, I have no problem with these maps. These maps are all somewhat decent. But I'm going to have to put Emporium in the C tier. And the reason why Emporium is going into the C tier, right? But it's going into the C tier, but it's going above all of these maps because I don't mind playing it. The only problem I have with Emporium, right, is where B flag Dom is at. Like, that part of the map is a really strong point of the map. There's another spot, like Occupy, when you play Occupy, that's like by these counters inside the building of Emporium, like where you see this pictures at, it's somewhere inside this area of the map, but it's like where some counters or something like that is at. That's another really strong like power point of the map, that part of the map. And then B flag, where like the kitchen area and stuff like that is at, is another really strong power point of the map. And it's like, if dudes are camping in there, it is damn near impossible to get them out. If you've ever played like Hot Shot or Domination, Occupy is not too bad because the objective points rotate. But if you play like Domination or you play Hot Shot and they're camping inside that B flag Dom or in that kitchen area, or they're camping in that area over here where those counters are at, it's like damn near impossible to get them out. And that's just with just regular builds and players and weapons. That's not even considering if they have like healers or phantom players on their team with shields and shit like that. Then it becomes even harder to get them out of that. So I'm not really a fan of this map like that. I'll play it before I play Times Square and Meltdown and Attica Heights for sure, but it really depends on the type of players you're playing. If you're playing with players that group up like that and just like camp it out, this map can be a complete and utter nightmare, man. Like, seriously. But if you're playing with people who, you know, touch grass and, you know, they run around and they rush and they're not just sitting in corners and shit like that with shields, this map ain't that bad. It's a decent map. Don't mind the map at all. You know what I'm saying? Moving on, we have another S tier map. And to me, that's going to be Showtime, man. Showtime is another S tier map. Again, this is another map that when I see this map pop up, I always vote for it. You know, the only way that you won't see me voting for Showtime or Liberty is if it's going up against Noodleplex. That is literally the only time you will never see me vote for Liberty or Showtime. If Noodleplex is up there, it will always be Noodleplex over everything. You know what I'm saying? If Noodleplex isn't up there, then I'm probably will be voting for Liberty. And if I can't vote for Liberty, I will most certainly be voting for Showtime 100%. And in this order too as well. Noodleplex, Liberty, Showtime for sure. Showtime is definitely a really fun map. It's not that big of a map. It's not super small like Arena or Echelon headquarters, but it is like a medium-sized map. I would say Showtime kind of reminds me, if I could compare it to a map, I'm not saying it's the size of this map exactly, but if I was comparing it to a map, I would compare it to a firing range from like BO1 or BO2 or BO3 or whatever, BO4, whichever version of firing range you want to call it, or maybe like in a hijacked, if you will. That's what Showtime reminds me of, like a medium to small size map. You know, you have somewhat decent spawns where somebody's not spawning directly behind you in your ass, you know, but also at the same time, the map is small enough to where you spawn. If you die, you can still get back to the objective as soon as you spawn in. You're not running for 3 miles or anything like that. You know, you have, you know, unfortunately, a lot of verticality in this map, a lot of areas where you can climb above and have like a higher ground than people, which I don't think, I'm not really a fan of in this game, but I like the change. For some reason it works in this because like there's like a fair level of verticality, you know what I mean? Like there's high points on this side of the map, but then there's also high points on that side of the map, so like you can kind of fight across. Like people on the floor can fight against people on the floor, and then people up top can fight against people up top, and then people up top can fight against the people on the floor. People up top on that side can fight against people on the floor. It's just a fairly balanced map. That's what I like. The only thing I would say as far as balance goes is that it doesn't really lend itself for long distance gunfight. This is more medium to close range, so using a sniper will be probably a little bit harder on a map like this because it's more medium close range engagements. Say, you know, compared to a map like Dumbo that has long lines of sights, a map like Emporium that can have long lines of sight, or Attica Heights, which has long lines of sight. Even Noodleplex and Liberty has long lines of sights where it's much easier for people to, you know, snipe or, you know, post up. Showtime, it's a little bit more faster paced, much smaller, more engagements, you know. So I'm a fan of this map as well too. Pueblito, once again, I'm gonna have to go with A tier. I'm gonna have to go with A tier for Pueblito, but I'm gonna put Pueblito, and people gonna call me crazy, but I'm gonna put Pueblito above Arena but below Midway and Zoo. Pueblito is another one of those well-balanced maps where like you have everything, and that's why I like this map as well too. It's just not as good as Showtime, Liberty, and Noodleplex. That's the only reason why I'm not putting it in S tier. Like just as a map by itself, I don't think it's as good or as just fun as these maps, but it's still a really good map. You know what I mean? Like, you have your long distance, you have your medium, your short range. You know, the objectives are in fair places. There's no like ridiculously overpowered choke points where like you can't get to the team or you can't get to the objective because they're dug in. I mean, there's maybe one where if you know this map, then on this right side over here, there's like that back spawn. I don't know if that's the A flag or C flag, but back here to the right, there's like that one occupied zone that's kind of like back there that it's kind of hard. It's like next to a truck. That can be a little hard to break. But outside of that, there's really no, most of these areas are open. Most of these areas have different ways for you to flank. All of these areas are open to nades and stuff like that. So like, it's not really, you know, OP. There's no areas or choke points that's like OP or hard to get people out, which is why I like Noodleplex and Liberty and Showtime, because there's really no super OP choke points or power points on the map where it's like, I can't get them off this head glitch. I can't get them out of there. They're just too, you know, compared to like Emporium or like Meltdown or Times Square, those sort of maps or whatever. Like, This map doesn't have any of that. It's kind of just like a very, balanced map. It's not, no BS. It's not dark. It's not hard to see people or anything like that. There's no low dark areas for people to hide in corners and shit like that. It's just a nice, fair map. And then finally, our last map we're going to be going with is Mayday. Now, Mayday can go in plenty of places. Like you could put Mayday in C tier. You could put Mayday in B tier. Some people might even put Mayday in A tier. But I'm actually going to just drop this in the one slot that we haven't used yet. And that's going to be in the B tier of just good. Mayday is like that map where, like, I don't know. It's just whatever. It's just there, It's like your friend saying, yo, man, you want to go get some pizza? And it's just like, I guess, like, I mean, like, it's pizza, you know what I mean? Like, I guess, like, I'm not going to get super hype. Oh, man, we're getting pizza. It's not like you're going out and eating, like, some fancy lobster dinner or some fancy steak dinner or some shit. It's just pizza. Is it good? Yeah. Who doesn't like pizza? But it's not something that you're going to write home about. That's how I feel about Mayday, man. Mayday is just there. It can be frustrating to play at times, and then there's times where it's fun to play. As far as OP power points on this map, I would say it's kind of hard to get people out of the airplane, that B flag spot on airplane, that occupy spot on airplane, or if you're playing hot shot and they all decide to just camp out airplane, then you're kind of just fucked. It's hard to get people out of there, especially when you have them posted up. You got the people on that little head glitch, then you got people on the wing of the plane, on that right side of the plane, sniping and ADS beaming you. Like, it can be a very frustrating map. That's why I just have it in B tier. It can be a fun map too as well, with people running around and just rushing and stuff like that, constantly flipping spawns and stuff. It just really all depends on the people you play. But that's the reason why these maps up here are in S tier and that these maps are up here in A tier, because it kind of really doesn't matter what teams you're playing, who you're playing against, who you're playing with. These maps are always going to be fun. These maps are always, I'm always going to enjoy these maps. These maps are always going to be fun to me. I'm always going to have a good time on the map, and more importantly, I'm probably always going to have a good game on these maps. The only maps that I can recall out of this S tier of me ever having a bad map was probably Showtime, and that's because of how small it is and playing the objective. It's very easy for you to rack up deaths in this game if you're just throwing yourself on the objective. So Showtime, out of these S tier maps, are probably the only ones that I'm like, oh, where I had bad games. Noodleplex, I don't think I've ever had a bad game, and if I did, I probably was playing against a party. I'm gonna be honest with you. This is probably my favorite map. I very rarely ever do bad on this map. That's how I was with, like, Raid. You know what Noodleplex is like? I said it was like Raid, but really Noodleplex is like Slums from BO2, bro. It's just like the perfect map. Just for any mode you wanted to play, Slums was just God tier. For my OG Call of Duty members, for my OG Call of Duty heads who played the golden era CODs, you know what I'm talking about. Slums was just chef's kiss. It didn't matter what you played, whether you played TDM, free for all, search, hardpoint, domination, like demolition, like whatever you played, whatever, it did not matter. Whatever you played, it was chef's kiss. That's how Noodleplex is, man. And to some extent, the rest of these maps as well too. So there you have it. These are my rankings of the maps for Xdefiant for the preseason. Okay, so for S tier we have Noodleplex, Liberty, and Showtime. A tier, amazing tier, we have Midway, Zoo, Pueblito, and Arena. B tier we have Mayday. C tier we have Emporium, Meltdown, Times Square, Attica Heights, and then for D tier we have Dumbo and Echelon. Please be sure to leave a comment down below and let me know, where do you rank these maps? Give me your rankings of where you rank these 14 maps in Xdefiant. It's been your boy Swiftly. I'm out, y'all. Peace.